Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, Cracker Barrel has completely caved in.
Also, backyard football is back, baby.
All that and more on the way next. Hudson and Allie with you on the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. We have a wild way to get started here. A new survey that has come out that has found that, according to Boston University, about a third of dog owners are skeptical, worried about giving their dogs vaccinations because they're afraid that it could cause autism.
I didn't even know that dogs or pets could have autism.
I don't know if they can.
Yeah. I have never heard of that before.
I understand that this is a concern, and I'm sure this is related, that people have about vaccinating their children, of course.
Yes, I've heard that.
But we know that children can be, like, you can be an autistic person.
Yes.
I didn't know, and I still don't, if a dog could be autistic. And this is an argument that I think some people would levy against, even if it is true that it could. Aren't the other diseases that you're vaccinating against worse than if you suffer from autism?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, like with dogs, like rabies?
Bad.
There's only one way to test for that.
Yeah.
If you don't vaccinate against it, that can be obviously fatal.
Yeah, deadly. And here is a quote from a PhD, a doctor, Lori Kogan, a psychologist and professor of clinical sciences at Colorado State University. She says pets don't get autism, so that's not something you need to worry about.
Okay, so even if you're a person who is concerned about vaccinating your children, like, again, we mentioned, it's obviously people can be autistic.
Yes.
People can have autism.
That is a possibility.
Dogs can't.
Dogs cannot.
So if you want to not vaccinate your dog, you're going to have to come up with another reason,
excuse.
Because this one's not good enough.
This one's not holding up. It's not holding water.
No, this is I wouldn't even know to tell, like, Zafira the dog, if she was autistic, what behaviors would she exhibit?
Signs would be,
How would that change my interactions with Zafira the dog?
Yeah, I don't think it would. I do know that there can be dogs with special needs, but those are usually not like mental disorders or, something. And there can be dogs that have certain, developmental delays or whatever. But for the most part, if it's a dog with a disability, it's something like it was born without a leg or a leg was amputated.
Right. It's a physical thing.
A physical disability.
Which obviously that's not going to be caused by a vaccination either.
No.
So the smart wisdom here is vaccinate your dogs. If you're going to go through the trouble of having a pet, it should get its proper vaccinations. Because truly, if they don't have the vaccinations or you don't know, that can cause a disaster at some point in their lives.
Right.
And in your relationship with them. It can be horrible.
You lose Fufu a little earlier than you thought because you didn't give him the vaccine.
Yeah. It's wild it's just wild to me.
Yeah. What theories are out there?
The things that people will throw around. And again, like, I'm just thinking, like, literally you get bitten by a dog. You're not like, oh no, is that dog autistic? You're like, does this dog have any diseases?
Yeah.
And usually you can rest assured because most people get their dogs vaccinated. But apparently not. Apparently a third of people are at least questioning whether they should or not.
Yeah.
And it's fine to do research and be, make sure you know what you're doing to your dog.
Right.
But you don't have to worry about autism.
No.
Take it from us, the experts.
The experts over here. No, take it from Lori Kogan, the PhD who said literally dogs can't get autism.
Mississippi State football can't win, even after pulling off a historic upset over Arizona State this weekend. 8772 Radio U. Per the SEC's policy, Mississippi State has been fined $500,000.
And so it begins.
Yeah. Pathetic. This is because after the game, after the Bulldogs pulled off the big win, of course, the fans excited. They stormed the field, tore down the goalposts. So not only does Mississippi State have to put those back up, but they now have to pay $500,000 as well for the storming the field policy. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we talked about this last season. I think that was the first season that the SEC had implemented the whole fining structure, because it's basically like a tiered structure of if you storm the field or storm the court, it gets progressively worse for the school with the fine that they have to pay.
And last year in college basketball, it was like a revolving door. Like they were just a carousel of paying each other fines.
Right.
Because they kept storming the court at each other's places.
Well, and it was Vanderbilt that I remember that particularly had a lot to do with this.
Yeah.
Because they obviously beat Alabama in football and then had some big upsets in men's basketball where fans stormed the court. I believe the athletic director for Vanderbilt was like desperately trying to tell the student section, don't storm the court, before they knew that they were going to beat like Kentucky or something. And so, yeah, this is just, it's sad because it's, these fans are excited, these teams are excited, these schools are excited. And this just, it puts a damper on the whole thing.
And how exactly are you supposed to stop 60,000 people from storming the field after
Impossible.
you defeat a team that was in the college football playoff last year?
Exactly. Impossible.
team that
Mississippi State had 2 wins last year.
Yeah, let them celebrate.
They need something to celebrate, those poor kids. They're like, we are so excited to beat Arizona State that we're going to storm the court the field. So.
Luckily, I have a solution.
You do?
Yeah, I'm a solutions-oriented guy, and this is going to take a lot of everybody getting on board, but I think it's worthwhile.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people will agree with this. So money talks, right? That's why they started this fining thing.
Right.
They're like, we think we can scare these schools into be so afraid that they're going to have to pay that they'll find a way to stop these unruly students from storming the field.
It's not working.
Hasn't worked. But we've got to take this to another level. I'm calling on students at every stadium across the country, not even in the SEC, just everywhere. Storm the field after every game. Win or lose, every game. Make them have to pay so much money in fines that they're like, well, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I don't want to devalue court storming and field storming. I think in basketball, it has kind of gotten a little
out of hand.
We're doing it a little too often to have it feel meaningful.
Yeah.
But this is meaningful.
Yes.
This is to win it back for us.
Yep.
And when you're a Mississippi State fan, you don't have to worry that you've hurt your team when you remember a week later that, oh, yeah, they got fined because I stormed the field.
Yeah.
We're going to blitz them. Blitz, a storm in the field blitz everybody across the country this week, and then maybe they'll finally realize how ridiculous this is and put this to bed.
So stage a protest.
Exactly.
All right. Organized protesting. I mean, it's I don't know if you could call it peaceful, but we're Americans.
Well, nobody's getting hurt.
No, yeah.
And that's why this shouldn't be a problem in the first place.
Yeah, but we're Americans, and this is what we're all about. And this sounds like a very American thing to do.
You should be free to storm the field after you defeat Arizona State.
Yes.
I say.
Yes.
And right now that freedom is they still did it, but it's kind of been stolen from us in some ways. And it's time for that to change.
Yeah.
And I don't see another way.
Yeah.
Because the powers that be seem to be completely tone deaf and ignorant of what it's like to be a student. It's time for things to change. Yesterday, an exciting day for Apple fans across the country as Apple unveiled new updates to their iPhone line. The most attention-grabbing to me is the new iPhone Air, which is the thinnest iPhone they've ever made. I don't know if this is the thinnest phone ever made, but it's the thinnest phone I've ever seen. 5.6 millimeters thick.
It's small. It looks real slim.
When you're measuring in millimeters, you know it's thin.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's so thin that where the rear camera is on it, it's basically twice as thick at that section as the rest of the phone is.
It's completely jutting out, making it impossible to really use this phone without a case.
Oh, yeah.
Because your phone, if you set it down on a flat surface, would be just like a little cockeyed.
You'd always be putting a lot of stress, I feel, on that camera.
Yeah.
Even though they say like it's titanium, blah, blah, blah. Like it should. I'm not even actually worried about it being breakable because
No.
I think they've made this very durable. It's just shockingly thin. But yeah, it's kind of funny though how you're right. It would almost defeat the purpose. It's so thin, but you would definitely want a case on it.
Yeah, you definitely want a case on it because it's like, again, if you set your phone down, which everybody does, it's going to look a little weird. If you put it in your pocket, it's going to look even weirder. So definitely going to need a case for that. But it looks pretty cool to me. Weirdly enough, Nene has been trying to find out which iPhone is going to be his next iPhone. And he's convinced that it's the new generation of iPhone, that's going to be his new phone.
Okay.
So he was watching this reveal yesterday here in the office. So I was kind of like in and out at that time and peeking a little bit to see what exactly was going on. So I got to see some of the features already, which I gotta be honest, I get that Apple has it has the definitely the majority of market share here in the United States. I'm an Android user. I've got a Samsung. And one of the features that they really played up was this whole thing of it can record front and back at the same time.
That was one of the things I saw. It's like, finally somebody can do that.
Yeah, Samsung's been doing that for years. I have a 4-year-old Samsung phone right now, and I have that capability. It's 4 years old. That means there's 4 other generations of Samsung phones that has come after this that have been able to do this feature. So I really hate the whole it's groundbreaking stuff with this new iPhone. And it's yeah, this has been something that other phones have been doing for years.
I didn't know that. And truth be told, even though I feel like that's something that should be done, and if other companies have done it and Apple hasn't until now, I'm really shocked. Why? Because it seems so obvious. But I've also never looked myself to be can I record it at the same time? Because I have a Motorola. I don't know. But this is the thing. We've hit the point, and this happened a while ago for me with phones, where it's just hard to convince me that anything new is exciting. Yeah. Because for years my phone has done, and I don't know, maybe this makes me sound old or whatever, but my phone has done really everything I need it to do. Yeah. There's nothing they can add at this point that's exciting. Even so this is super thin, which is at least interesting, and visually you can tell. Yes. Every person that sees this phone will be like, whoa, that's different. Yeah. The next thing, if you want to hold off on this one, is supposedly probably in 2026 they'll be launching their first foldable phone, which has been done by other companies, and that's Samsung. Another one that's obviously it's visually any normal person looking at your phone is going to go, whoa, that's different. But do I actually want that though? Do I want a foldable phone? I don't get the foldable phone interest. I have seen some people with the Samsung foldable phone, and it is cool to be able to prop the phone up and take a picture. But I'm that's the only real reason I would want, I guess, to have a foldable phone. Isn't it kind of funny how it's we have all this new technology and yet we're regressing back to the flip phone? Right. That's the only thing it reminds me of is a flip phone. Well, if you're not holding out for a foldable phone, the iPhone Air is going to be out soon for $999. And then there's also the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro Max as well, that are all being updated and unveiled, and they all have their own special things that make them special. Or you can just be like Allie and me, I think, and kind of stick with the classics. Well, I don't know if it's just stick with the classics, but just realize that pretty much every phone has the same capabilities. Your phone's 4 years old, right? Yeah, there's no need to update it. That's classic. Oh, come on. I have good news and bad news and good news. Okay. Good news. The Battle of the Buzz is coming up. Yes. With Gable Price and Friends, their brand new song, Human Point of View, versus Good Weather Forecast and Geo teaming up to try to take down Gable Price and Friends with their new song, Lows to Highs. This one's so new, not even on Spotify yet. Wow. We'll be premiering it here on RadioU and the Battle of the Buzz. That's coming up in 30 minutes, so that's good news. The bad news is we need to talk about Cracker Barrel again. Oh. 8772 RadioU. But the good news is it's because Cracker Barrel has done something amazing. Oh, have they? They have decided, they have announced once and for all, your old country store is here to stay. No more remodel? No more remodel. Woo-hoo! The old man logo is back. We already knew that. Yes. And now what was even more important to me is that when you wander inside a Cracker Barrel, you can rest assured it will be just as dark and wooden and
filled with dusty antiques.
Exactly, as you always remembered. The old country store is here to stay, they say.
That makes me so happy. Honestly, this year can end. This year has been successful.
I think this is possibly our greatest accomplishment as a show.
100%. We name dropped Cracker Barrel yesterday. So we're taking the W on this.
Yeah, we get the credit. We were ahead of everybody.
We were ahead of everyone when they first started, we first started seeing some clips and videos from people going into Cracker Barrels that had been remodeled. We reacted to it immediately before any big news station.
Unhinged rants before anyone else did.
Yes, before any big news station covered this, before any aunt shared this on Facebook, any stories about Uncle Herschel, we were on top of it. And I agree. I agree that we were the ones that got this done. Let's be real. It was a victory on many parts. There was a lot of people involved in this. This was a team effort, but we certainly started the charge. We were Paul Revere on this one.
And while we absolutely want the credit, this isn't just a win for us, of course. And we didn't just do this for us because I haven't been to Cracker Barrel in years. We did it for America.
We did it for everyone.
We did it for the people. And this was a concern. It was sometime last week, or I don't even know. Like, this thing feels like, honestly, it's gone by so quick, but it also feels like the Cracker Barrel saga started like 4 months ago.
I was going to say, it's definitely longer than that. It's been going on for at least a month.
But when they made the most recent announcement that they were going to keep the logo, the classic logo with Uncle Herschel and the barrel, that they were noticeably silent about the remodels. But again, I'm telling you, that is more concerning to me. A logo is a logo, but I don't have to think about that. But when I'm walking into a Cracker Barrel, whenever I do that again one day, I want it to look like a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
I don't want it to look like something else. But yesterday they said, we're suspending our remodels. If your restaurant hasn't been remodeled, you don't need to worry. It won't be. And they said that they were reacting to opinions customers shared, not just on their logo, but also on their restaurants. And they understand that their redesigns did not reflect what you love about Cracker Barrel. Truer words were never spoken. It just took them too long to realize.
It did take them a while to realize, but I'm proud of Cracker Barrel for, reversing the course of their action here, because not a lot of corporate-run companies are going to do this. And so I'm proud that Cracker Barrel listened to the people, listened to the fans and the customers, and said, you know what? We got this wrong. We messed up. We're not moving forward with this. But for those that already had their stores remodeled, sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like they're going back.
Tough toenails to you. That'd be a lot of hassle, but arguably worth it. But it is true. You do have to give Cracker Barrel some credit.
Yes.
A lot of times in this world, you take a position, you start a remodel or whatever it is, and the world starts to come down on you, as they rightly should. And what do? You dig in your heels and you say, actually, you guys are the ones who suck. And they did that at first.
Right.
But they finally caved.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
Yep. We've been talking a lot recently about the viral moment over the weekend from the Miami Marlins versus the Philadelphia Phillies game with Phillies Karen.
Yes.
It's been a big thing.
Yeah. I still keep seeing stories about it.
So many stories. People I know that don't even watch baseball are like fully in on this, like how psycho this lady looked. And we talked about it on Monday, but I thought about something and I was like, this is actually a very cool analogy. And that is, we see this cool moment between this father and this son. He gets the ball, he gives it to his son, and they look so happy for like a split second before this psycho comes over and interrupts the whole thing.
The dad puts his hands on the son's shoulders.
Yeah.
So wholesome.
It's such a beautiful moment. And
the dad was so probably so proud right there. He's like, I did something special.
Exactly. He was so happy. I remember when I was a kid, my dad got all of us kids a ball during like I don't know, batting practice or something for a Cleveland game. And he was so happy about that. And so I feel like you can see that joy, you can see that happiness on that dad and on that son's face. And then Philly's Karen comes over and interrupts the whole thing and ends up taking away the ball. Well, here's the analogy. In our plans, we often think we know what will make us happy. We think we know what's going to fulfill us in life. And if we just get that thing, it's going to be all right. Everything's going to be good. And that's the ball, right? We want to get that baseball and everything will be okay. Well, then something happens. Something messes that up. That ball is literally ripped from our hands after we have it and we think it's all okay. But guess what? God has a bat for us instead. Our plans were for the baseball, but then here comes Harrison Bader giving a signed bat to this son and makes his whole day. He gets to go into the locker room for the Philadelphia Phillies. The Miami Marlins bless him with a whole bunch of cool merch and stuff. And so our plans are the baseball, but God has so much more for us, so much greater things for us than we realize. And so what may feel like a totally messed up moment when we got what we thought we wanted, we just need to trust in God and see that he has something greater for us on the horizon.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's something I think about and try to keep in mind so often is we have our own ideas of what we think is best for our lives or what we think God is capable of. And it's so much bigger than that.
Right.
We have our small human minds that think this is what God can do. Do I want that? Do I not want that? I don't know. It's debatable. But God has something much better than anything that we can have planned and can imagine things and put things into place that are so much bigger than you would ever dream of. And so we need to stop putting constraints on what we think God can do. And we need to start trusting him that what he has is better than whatever we're coming up with.
Yeah, don't put a salary cap on God. God's got bigger things for you. He's got greater things for you. The world may have a baseball for you, but God's got a signed bat. And it's better. It's better. So trust in God even in those moments when you think like everything is falling apart. The thing that you thought you were searching for and thought that you needed when you got it, it suddenly didn't fulfill what you thought you wanted, or it's taken away by some crazy psycho lady. It's all going to be okay because God has got a bat for you.
Find out what that's like. You can do it right now. Just say, hey, Jesus, I want you in my life. Fill me with your spirit. Come in and change things, and he will. If you want to know more, too, you can go to radiou.com/free gift. We are doing Would You Rather Wednesday. Today's question comes from Shrew, who says, would you rather have free food for life, but it always has, everything you eat always has a slightly noticeable tinge of a flavor you hate, or you have to always pay at least double for any food you ever eat, but it always tastes amazing? We have some good thoughts coming in. Let's start with Regina at 877 Radio U, who says, I guess the free food, because you get used to the flavor over time, and with all the money I saved, I could balance it out with activities I like.
I like that idea. Heard from Dee this morning. She said, I would take the free food. I have lower standards for free food.
Dang, that's kind of a mic drop.
That's fair, though. I feel like we do. Like, it was free. So we just have lower standards for that.
Yeah, it is so true. Like, literally, things taste better when they're free.
It's true.
I think that I think there's probably been studies done on that prove it. And if there's not, somebody should do it. Because I know what the answer would be. Everything tastes better if it's free.
Yeah.
But Nathan counteracts that with something that is actually a really good point. He says, I don't think people understand how much humans desire good food. If you had an entire lifetime of never experiencing amazing, good tasting food, I think depression rates would go through the roof. Food brings diversity to our lives and exploration.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and that's what's making me struggle with this because while it is a taste that's barely noticeable, it's still something that you hate.
Yeah.
And so it's really tough to say that you're going to give up because a lot of time in our lives is spent eating food. And so giving up enjoying food, it's really tough to give that up.
Well, we heard from actually Shrew, who came up with this question in the first place. And Shrew said, after thinking about this for a long time, I finally settled on free food for life just because it would make things generally easier financially. And I think somebody could eventually get used to something tasting a little gross.
Yeah. And also the barely noticeable part makes me think that you could probably get away with just, again, not noticing it because it's barely noticeable. Heard from William. He said, I would choose to pay double because if things always taste amazing, I would just prioritize food more when budgeting, which is a good thing. And he says also there's options to get free food from others paying for it or using coupons. I would be more likely to go to places I normally would not go because of the price, because everything tastes so good. And with such high prices, that would help portion how much I eat. I like the thought put into that one, William.
William basically nailed what I eventually decided.
Okay.
That I would, if everything tastes amazing no matter what, then I would just eat the cheapest things. Like literally ramen every day or whatever.
Right.
I would go and a lot of some vegetables and stuff, very cheap as well.
Sure.
So I'd be able to get, and I'm very picky now, I think, but I'd be able to eat healthier because these things that I typically hate, I'd be able to they would taste amazing. And so I think also you think about how much basically any event you ever go to in your life, with friends and whatever, you're always eating.
Yeah.
Think about how much that would be ruined if everything you ate had a flavor of something you hate, even if it's barely noticeable.
Yeah.
I think that would I think Nathan's right. I think your depression would go up. I think it would make so many other experiences that don't focus on food, but food is involved, less enjoyable for you.
Yeah.
And so I have to go with paying double.
Yeah, this is why I'm struggling with this one because these are such valid points. Would you hate all the times that you spend with friends, eating out? Because I love to go eat out and try new restaurants and all of that. So I feel like it would suck to have those experiences and they be ruined because the food doesn't taste quite right. There's just something wrong with it that would bother me.
Especially if everybody else is having a great, that's what it's. If you're the only one experiencing this, it would make it so much worse.
It would. But I really do like the idea of having more financial freedom because that is very appealing for food to be completely free. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to go with the free because while it may be annoying that food isn't something that you're getting a lot of enjoyment out of, you can take that money and use it on some other things that you would enjoy.
Mike says free food, just use Red Hot, like the Frank's Red Hot grandma. But I think the Red Hot would have a taste of things you hate too.
Anything that you're eating would have the barely noticeable taste of something you hate.
Yeah, this is a real stumper though. This is a good thought provoker from Shrew.
Max says we're already paying double since 2021.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Scientists have discovered a new deep sea fish. 8772 Radio U. And it's actually adorable.
Aww. It is so cute.
Most deep sea fish, I'm afraid of the ocean. And it's because of the things that live in the trenches.
Yeah.
The angler fish and things of that nature that are down deep. The blobfish that look frightening. The big gulper. They look horrible.
Yeah.
They look although in many cases they're very tiny, they still look like you would not want to meet them face to face.
I mean, we did a right up my alley about the deep sea and particularly about the Mariana Trench, which is the area of the deepest part of the ocean where Challenger Deep is. And we talked about how the part of the ocean that is the deepest is literally called the Hadal Zone because it's named after Hades, the underworld. So it's it already is kind of scary.
And everything down there looks like it would fit right in Hades.
Yeah.
But not this newly discovered snailfish, which was just found by an underwater robot, the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute. Put this robot down there, and it found 3 new species of snailfish. And this thing is the one that we have video of is so cute. The eye's a little frightening, but it's honestly axolotl-esque.
Yes, that's what I was just thinking. It's like an axolotl. So when are we going to see little crochet versions of the snailfish?
Yeah.
Because this is going to sell well to kids.
Snailfish squishmallows.
Yes, this is going to sell. I mean, so many kids have been buying those crochet of the little sea creatures, and they've been very popular because they're adorable, little lovable little guy. And that's what this snailfish is.
Yeah.
He is so cute.
I didn't know something so lovable could be so down deep in the ocean.
I know.
Apparently, I don't know if it's one of these 3 that they just discovered, but there are other kinds of snailfish as well. There are many kinds. And one of these snailfish species holds the record for the deepest dwelling fish, believe it or not.
Wow.
To describe this, I mean, we said it kind of looks like an axolotl. It's got like a big... it's mostly head. It has a large jelly-like head. It kind of looks like it's kind of got a tadpole body.
Yeah.
And then they also say that many snailfish have a disc on their belly that allows them to either stick to the sea floor or hitchhike on larger animals. I wish I had that.
That's a little scary, but you can't see the disc in this video or the pictures.
You can't.
But
I think suction cup. That sounds nice.
Right. I think the part that makes it cute for me is it's got these massive eyes, which are like almost like an eye that you would see on a stuffed animal.
Right.
And then it also
they are kind of dead, but
well, I mean, most stuffed animals don't look alive.
Yeah. Also, it's not like it has to see much down there at the deep sea.
It can't really see anything, I'm sure. It's probably blind like all the others.
And if it could see, it wouldn't want to because it's horrible down there.
Not much worth seeing down there. But also, it has this big mouth that almost looks like it's curving up like a smile. Yeah. So it looks like it's smiling at you.
I think that's what makes it. I think it's the resting smile face.
Yes.
That it has. So I'm so glad that we finally found something in the deep sea that isn't absolutely terrifying. Obviously, if you'd like us to send the video your way, let us know at 8772-RADIO-U. You'll be glad you did.
Yes.
Time to lock in. 8772-RADIO-U. Have you seen these videos where people are sharing what they are doing to lock in for September, for the fall season? Has that been going around on your Instagram, Allie?
It has not.
The lock-in trend is similar to like a New Year's resolution, I would say.
Okay.
But it's more strict. There's more rules.
Oh.
But this is you make a resolution, you make a habit you want to change, and then you actually kind of keep yourself accountable in the cases of this situation by posting about it.
Yeah.
If you actually are locking in for 30 days or 90 days or however long you want to do it to change a habit in your life, if you're posting about it every day for the world to see, hopefully that keeps you a little accountable, helps you stick with it. So you and I, we have a show.
Yeah.
So we can lock in on the show.
We could.
And give repeated updates.
This is like me with my lock-in for the month of July.
That's what I was thinking. You did a lock-in. You didn't even notice it.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a trend.
Yeah.
I just thought I was, doing something good for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it truly was a good thing because it did set up a habit for me to really not eat out very much, because even though I no longer have that in place where I can't eat out, I have barely.
Think you eat out less?
I've barely eaten out since then.
That's good. That's good. So you've already accomplished that. Now it's time to figure out what the next lock-in is going to be.
Yeah.
Because we can always improve and start better habits. So, I mean, there's a lot of examples. Some people have started the wake up early lock in, where you have to be up by a certain time each day. Obviously, we don't need to get up early.
We got that on lock.
Yeah, seriously. No alcohol, daily workouts, clean eating, journaling, not scrolling for a certain time before bed. These are things that people have been locked in on. What, you have an idea what your next lock-in habit should be?
I do, because for the month of August, I was really focused on doing these workouts. It was called the Chloe Ting Challenge. Really did pretty good with those. And so I was kind of thinking for September, I wasn't really going to focus on anything. But for the month of October, I did want to put in place a new challenge that I'm hoping will start a great habit for me. And that was that every morning when I wake up, I'm going to make my bed.
Oh.
Because
you're like Corbin Burns.
Sometimes I just want to, get up and just get ready and head out the door. And usually that's like the amount of time I leave myself to have in the morning because we get up so early and we have to be here early. And so, I would like to get a decent amount of sleep, and I really don't get that much. So to wake up a little bit earlier to make my bed, it doesn't sound great, but I do want to do that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I want to be supportive, but also that's crazy.
Why?
I think making beds is crazy.
It's like 5 minutes.
You're just going to mess it up in 12 hours anyways.
Well, it's like 5 minutes. It's going to take like 5 minutes, if even that.
Well, I hope, like I said, Corbin Burns, he's injured this year, but Cy Young pitcher. He had struggled in his career, and then he credits making the bed every morning with starting his turnaround that led to his Cy Young season.
I remember my junior year of college, I was really on top of it with like eating good and working out and staying healthy. And one thing that I implemented was making my bed. Because weirdly enough, as small of a habit as it is and as small of a change of it is, it's like showing how your day is better off because you started it with getting something done. You accomplished something right at the beginning of your day.
Interesting.
So I do think there's a reason why that helps.
That could be it. I need to lock in on a workout routine.
Oh.
I've done the walking. I've upgraded it to the interval walking, which doesn't seem to actually make a difference, honestly. But I was already walking anyways.
Interval walking, what's that? I don't know what that is.
Interval walking is where you, instead, like I would walk for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's already what I was doing. Interval walking is a 30-minute walking plan, but instead of just you go for 30 minutes, you go either 3 or 5 minutes where you're walking at higher intensity, and then you do the same amount of time lower, and you keep alternating.
So you're changing your heart rate.
Yeah, trying to get the heart rate up and get your maximum steps and heart rate higher.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to have made a big difference. I've done that for like 2 months now.
Aww.
But I need to add something else to a workout routine that I can do every day, because it's also hard for me to remember or make the time to work out on the weekends.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm locking in.
Okay.
I am locking in. We're gonna start some better habits here. We've already talked about backyard baseball making a comeback, one of the classic video games of the late 90s and early 2000s. And now the Kelsey brothers have done it again. They were kind of the ones that were leading the charge to bring backyard baseball back. They've also now, in time for football season, have managed to get backyard football back as well.
Let's go. Okay, I love baseball. Everyone knows that I'm obsessed with baseball. But the amount of hours I spent playing backyard football as a kid on the desktop with a CD-ROM and all of that fun stuff. I don't even want to know. That was before you had Steam, which would calculate your hours for you to tell you how much time you spent on a game. But it was a lot of time. And so I'm so happy that this is back. One question for you.
Yeah.
We talked about how with backyard baseball, some of the classic baseball players would be back in the game with new players. Are they going to do that with backyard football? Do we know that yet?
What I'm seeing here is, I don't know if we're getting new NFL players. Like, is Jordan Love going to be in this? I'm not sure. But yes, the classic guys. This is crazy. The names that are here, this is Backyard Football 99.
Yes.
These are the players some of the names that are in this game. These are so throwback. Barry Sanders.
Oh, this is literally my childhood right now.
Dan Marino.
Yes. I remember playing with Dan Marino. Like, he was my quarterback.
Jerry Rice.
Yes.
And John Elway.
Yes. I remember all 4 of those players being like the GOATs in that game when you would play it. Oh, man. Yeah. This is bringing me back. I'm like this is like Little Allie right now.
Well, it's going to cost you $4.99. Available now on Steam, the App Store, and on Google Play.
$4.99? That's nothing. That's $5.
Yeah.
Come on, that's awesome.
And isn't it funny? I know phone games can be more advanced now, but basically most phone games kind of feel like games that if you grew up long enough ago that people were playing on the computer. You know what I mean? Phone games are usually a step behind.
Right.
For good reason. Why console games.
Yes.
These were console and computer games back in the day. Now they fit perfectly on a phone.
Yep.
So backyard football, backyard baseball is back too. And fingers crossed, maybe we'll get backyard hockey because that was a thing.
Yeah, I never played the hockey version, but that sounds like it would have been a lot of fun too.
Yeah, introducing. I'm sure most of the people downloading this are going to be like you that played these growing up. But it's also probably going to introduce the backyard games to a whole new generation.
Honestly, I might need to introduce this to my little cousins and be like, you need to know who Jerry Rice is and how amazing he is.
That is what's cool is like, I'm a sports historian. I know about all these guys. I mean, not as much as people that actually grew up with it, but I know about all the people that, the big names from back in the day before I was able to watch football or whatever.
Because when I
But it's fun to learn about them and fun to educate other people that aren't as into it.
Well, because when I played backyard football, none of those guys were active in the NFL.
Yeah, right.
So I learned about them through that game.
Yeah, but I do want them to cross over, though, too. I do want modern players.
That would be sick.
With these classics that that people remember playing with, or if you're old enough, remember actually playing in the league.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.